You good?
We're good. We're live.
Excellent. Hello, everybody. Good to see you again. For those of you who were not here 3 weeks ago when I addressed the company, my name is Brian Mitchell, and I'm the executive chairman for the company. I'm also joined today by Ahmad Sheikh. Ahmad is a fellow director in the company, and we are here to essentially follow up on what I announced 3 weeks ago, which is that the board made a decision. It was time for a change in leadership here at Philtech, and today marks the formal transition of that leadership to Mr. John Plohetski as our new president and CEO. Over the past 3 weeks, I've had an opportunity to spend a little bit more time with kind of the front end of the business, customers, new products. And although certainly we have some challenges to overcome, one of the things that I'm impressed by is that both the customers and the new products are excited and exciting. We're really, I think, very bullish about the future of the business. We're excited about the next phase of Philtech under John's leadership. He's got a demonstrated track record of building market-leading companies which produce superior financial results. We're confident that under John's leadership, Philtech will return to its tradition of delivering great products, services, and satisfied customers. One attribute of a lot of successful CEOs is that over the course of their careers, they cultivate and develop management teams and talent that tend to partner with them and follow them in future engagements. In just a minute, I'm going to turn the mic over to John so he can share his view and vision for the company, some of his thoughts on how he approaches business. But before doing so, I'd like to also let you know that John has brought one of these previous partners and team members with him to Philtech, and he will introduce you to Hajit Gill, who will join the company as our new VP of Operations. Hajit and John have worked together in engagements in companies in the past. They know each other, they're trusted partners to each other, and we're happy to have Hajit join the team. I would like to take this opportunity and would be remiss if I didn't publicly thank and recognize Ken Hudson for all he's done for the company over the past many, many months. In December, the company really needed somebody to step up and take control of the manufacturing and production operations for the business. Ken raised his hand and stepped forward. Under his leadership, the company has continued to improve on our commitment to our customers of improved quality, on-time delivery, and for that, we thank you, Ken. Hajit's addition will allow Ken to focus more completely on the important work we need him to do around the area of process definition and development, product engineering, product management, and IT. Again, my thanks to Ken. So at this point, I would like to turn the podium over to John Plohetski and welcome him to Philtech.
All right. Well, good morning, everybody, and good afternoon and good evening to those that are dialing in remotely. I must say I'm excited to be here, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself and how I see things right now with the company and where I think we're going to go. But before I start, I would like to ask, it's awfully crowded in the back of the room there. Why doesn't everybody move up a little bit? I promise I won't bite, and I did take a shower this morning. Great, thank you. So first I'd like to tell you a little bit about my professional career. I'll go through it quickly, then my personal life, and then talk about my expectations and what I see as next steps. Can I shrink this?
Sure.
Close
I'll
it.
close it. And I'll have to shrink it. There you go.
Okay, here we go. So I went to school for electrical engineering, graduated in 1980 in Rochester, New York, and worked for a small company there for a couple of years until, as an engineer, until the product line was sold off. Then went to a company many of you might know or heard of, a large private company, a German company called Carl Zeiss. I was with them for 20 years and had a fantastic career, staying on the engineering side and really assuming a lot of different roles in engineering, from running product engineering, manufacturing engineering, R&D, software engineering, and ultimately became the VP of engineering for the U.S. Great career, but wanted to keep advancing, so ended up moving to a entirely different type of industry with scientific instrumentation for a company called Dionix out in Sunnyvale in the San Francisco Bay Area. And that company made ion chromatography systems. Those systems, they take small samples of either chemical or biological samples and break it down and tell you basically what's in it. It's used for monitoring drinking water, pharmaceuticals, all kinds of things like that. I became the senior VP there, running the ion chromatography business. Fantastic business. We had about 70% global market share. Our gross margins were up around 70%. It was life was good, and then Thermo Fisher came along and bought us. I stayed with Thermo for about a year to get through the integration, and then went off to find greener pastures, which I thought at that time would be a small company in Madison, Wisconsin, called Gilson, privately owned company. And I was the chief operating officer there. Instrumentation very similar to what I was doing at Dionix and Thermo Fisher as well. Stayed there for only about a year because another great opportunity came along, a company called AB Science. You may have heard of a large company called Danaher. AB Science is a Danaher company. I started a business unit within AB Science. AB Science made mass spectrometers, which, again, they do kind of chemical analysis or biological analysis, and really expensive pieces of equipment. And I ran one of the business units there, and built the business unit, a global business unit, and enjoyed a lot of success. But I was actually commuting to my office in Redwood City near San Francisco, and they really wanted me to move back there because after we acquired a company in China for my business, I was traveling quite a bit there. But we really didn't want to have to go back to the San Francisco Bay Area, so decided to part company and took some time off with our home up in Madison, and we had 20 wooded acres, and I had a chance to play lumberjack for a while, which was kind of fun last year. But as I'm also getting a little bit older, it's not so fun after a couple of months, and it gets a little bit painful. So eventually I hooked up with Ahmad and with Brian, and we have been talking for a number of months now, and I saw this as a great opportunity, which I'll come back to in a couple of minutes. A little bit about myself on the personal side. I was born and raised in New York City. My father was a homicide detective. As a matter of fact, that picture in the upper right, that's me in the bow tie. I realize bow ties don't work for me very well, but that picture was actually, if you can believe this, it was on the front page of the New York Sunday Times in 1959. My father had gotten a Medal of Valor. I have a brother who was a couple of years younger than me. He's living in Binghamton, New York. He works for BAE Systems, an engineer as well. And yes, I was a Boy Scout and became an Eagle Scout, and that's me down in the bottom there in my fancy uniform. I've been married 32 years to my wife, Tina, who will be joining me out here where we start the official house hunting Thursday evening. And yeah, I can't wait for that. So hopefully she'll be out here soon joining me. We do have a son, John, 28, he lives in Stockton, and our daughter, Melissa, 22, who's living in Sonoma. So as you can imagine, I'm sure you're all interested, why am I here? You know, after talking with the mod, with Brian, and doing my own due diligence, you know, I could see very clearly Filtech is a very highly regarded company. It's been around for a while. It's highly respected in the industry. And that's something that companies just, they work their tails off to try and achieve. So you have something really, really great here. You should be very proud of that. Yeah, I think Filtech is really a fantastic company. I think you've enjoyed tremendous success in the past, and I hope we'll continue to do that in the future as well. So I see this as a great opportunity, and we can really leverage this reputation in the industry to help us grow in various areas. I do think we have a lot of potential to grow in different geographies, particularly in Asia and Africa. Those are two areas that where the market itself is growing, and I think we have big opportunities there. Likewise, I know that there has been a lot of effort in developing new products, releasing new products, which are unique to the industry as well. So I think we've got a really strong foundation here that we can really build upon. So although the company has been successful, I believe we can do even better, and we can continue to grow and be even more profitable in the future. Finally, my own expectations, and I like to put this out there because I'd like for everybody to understand, you know, what I expect in general behaviors from everybody. And what's really important is I want everybody always act with honesty and integrity, okay? You know, we're here working together as a team, and I do expect teamwork, you know, no finger pointing, working together as a team to resolve problems. But always act with integrity, act with honesty. If you have to stand back and question whether, is this a right thing or a wrong thing to do, you know, err on the side of caution, okay? Really. And if you're having trouble making a decision about the right way to go, ask your manager, ask me. As I said, I expect teamwork. We're all part of the same team. At the end of the day, we're all striving for the same objectives, right? We want to be successful. We want to be profitable. We want to grow professionally and personally. So again, keep that in mind. We're all striving for those same set of objectives. I always have an open door policy. Anybody can stop by at any time. Okay. I love to talk to people, and you'll see me wandering around the floor, and hopefully I don't get lost too much, but you will see me wandering around quite a bit as well. You want to stop by and talk about something, feel free, okay? Really. I really expect an open and honest communication with everybody in the company. Address problems early, okay? I know it's human nature. A lot of times when there's a problem, you see a problem, you want to sweep it under the rug, right? Maybe it'll go away on its own. It rarely ever happens. So please address problems early, all right? And don't sweep it under the carpet. And most importantly, though, when there is a problem, be tough on the problem, not on the people. This is important. I don't buy into blame, okay? I don't, Harjeet doesn't, okay? We are here, okay, to achieve the same objectives. So let's not spend time trying to figure out who did what wrong, okay, or pointing the finger. Let's just go after the problem and fix it, okay? We're going to make mistakes. We're all human, okay? I make mistakes. I make plenty of mistakes. I'm sure you do too. All right, so what? Let's learn from them and keep going, okay? And finally, you know, when there are problems, okay, don't use email to address problems, okay? Wrong tool, okay? It's so very easy to misunderstand what's being said in an email. You know, if you got to talk to somebody, don't do it via email and copy 30 people. Okay, pick up the phone and go talk to them, all right? And that is by far the most effective way to solve problems, address problems. So that's really kind of it in a nutshell in terms of my, and of course, you know, I expect everybody to do their best at the job, but I thought that'd be a little bit obvious saying, So, but I also want you to try and have a little bit of fun. All work and no play is, not a great life. And so finally, what are the next steps? Admittedly, I'm new to this industry. Even though I spent 20 years at Carl Zeiss working on inspection engaging equipment, okay, specifically coordinate measuring machines, a little bit similar. We made use of some optics, but primarily it was touch trigger probing and that kind of thing for prismatic part inspection. I do have a lot to learn, I admit it, okay? And I'm going to be spending time with our customers. I want to learn from our competition. And most importantly, I want to learn from you as well. So again, feel free. As I said, my door is open. Although these next 2 days are going to be a little bit rough, but typically my door will be open. Next, we're going to develop and launch a formal performance review plan. And this process, okay, I'm a strong believer that we will be a company that pays for performance, okay? You do well, you are to be compensated accordingly. So we are going to develop, and this is one of our priorities in the near term, to develop a formal performance review process, which of course you'll be compensated for depending upon the outcome of your review. We're also going to develop and launch initiatives to improve our business performance, productivity, efficiency. As I mentioned earlier, company is doing great, but I think we probably have opportunity to do a little bit better, both on the top line in terms of growing our revenue and on the bottom lines, okay, growing our profitability. So we are going to be working on these things, and as a matter of fact, I'll be meeting with the executive team a little while, and we'll be talking about exactly that. As you heard from Brian previously, the board is willing to invest in the company. So, of course, another thing that we'll be working on is to evaluate the company and look at those areas where we need to invest, okay, and make those investments, propose it to the board and get that money and make those investments as we need them. And of course, now to develop a strategic vision. Everybody wants to understand, well, what are we, who are we, where are we going, that kind of thing. That's something else we'll be working on in the short term as well. And we'll introduce it to you in one of our upcoming town hall meetings. I will tell you, we are going to have regular town hall meetings. Every quarter, at the end of every quarter, we're going to gather together just like this, and we're going to talk about how business is going, how we did the previous quarter, what the outlook looks like, what's new, who's doing a great job, and that kind of thing. I think it's really important that we all have the same understanding of how we're doing and where we're going. So that's really all I really prepared. I did want to spend just a minute to introduce Harjeet Gill. You heard Brian mention earlier, Harjeet and I have got some history together. Harjeet and I have worked together for on and off for probably close to 15 years together at Dionix. We worked together at Danaher, and he's a great guy, great leader, really knows operations and manufacturing. He's got a number of certifications, and I think you'll really like working with him as well. He's a really nice guy, which sometimes I got to push him on a little bit, sometimes too nice. But again, I think you'll really like Harjeet, and he's also a very hands-on guy. You'll see him out on the floor all the time, as well as wanting to learn and so on. I think you'll find that he gives really good guidance as well. So having said that, I just want to introduce Harjeet very quickly and let him say a couple of words.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Brian. Good morning to everybody here, and good morning and good afternoon, good evening to the people who are on the phone. So again, I'm Harjeet Gill, and I'm really excited to be here, part of a great company, good product, and wonderful people here. Okay, John already mentioned, my background is mechanical engineering and business in education. but most of my career been actually in manufacturing operation and supply chain. Okay, I work with several companies. John and I worked together with the last, like he mentioned, last 15 years. I was in Beckman Coulter, which is part of Danaher Company. Prior to that, spent 4 years in Thermo Fisher and 8 years in Dynex, which became actually part of Thermo Fisher. Prior to that, I was also working actually in this area, more in Orange County area, and also on Mexican border, company named Power One, and also Emerson Electric. Okay. My really passion is the people, working with people, teamwork, and not only in the manufacturing, but also in cross-functionally, also throughout the supply chain and throughout the business. So working with people, improving the processes everywhere. So I'm not going to say a lot more today. I'm really eager to learn a lot from you, all of you, and I'm looking forward to meet everybody in the coming days. Hopefully, I will meet everybody this week in the operation team. And a little bit about my personal. I didn't have actually photograph in New York Times.
And they still like.
Born, grew up in India, 35 years. I'm in the U.S. 35 years also. I'm married with my wife, Sarah, and 3 grown-up children. And right now we are living in San Francisco Bay Area. Okay, thank you very much, and looking forward to work with you.
Okay, so that's all we had planned for this morning in terms of presentation and that kind of thing. At this point, I would like to open it up for questions. I might not have all the answers, but please, I do want to hear from you. What are your concerns? What are your questions? Fire away, please. Yes.
John, nice to meet you.
Same here. Thanks.
I'm Daniel in facilities, and you touched on a lot of things already. We're a big family here, and we understand that, and we're also eager to maximize the production and the profit of the company. And through all the changes, it's been a roller coaster. So it's been a little difficult to get proper review and raises, and we're here to bring this company up, and then we just wanted to, I think I can speak for most of us, that we're just really eager to see what also is in the budget to invest in the people as far as moving forward, and I think you touched base on that as far as putting together a plan, but we're really eager to see what happens with that.
Good, good. Admittedly, I was a little bit surprised to hear that there was no formal review process, but we'll institute that, and there will be annual reviews tied in with compensation. Quite frankly, a company is nothing without its people, and if we have people that are unhappy, demotivated, we're going nowhere. So I really feel strongly that you have to feel good about what you're doing and feel as though we appreciate you as well. And I think this is one of the most important ways to show that.
I agree. Thank you.
Sure. Please don't be shy. Yes.
One of the things I think kind of happened here is in R&D is we slipped on the arm quite a bit, and I'd like to see emphasis into researching and not so much just designing something and hoping that it's going to do what we want it to do. But I'd like to see a lot more bench testing being done and a lot more testing being done before we go to market with something.
Agreed. Agreed. I've spent a fair amount of time talking with Brian and Ahmad about this, and I don't have a perfect understanding yet, but seeing or hearing about events recently, I think there's some opportunity to make some improvements and really improve that kind of the overall launch process. Everybody's just dying to go back to work, right? Really, anything else? Please don't be shy. All right, well, as I said, you know, if there's something you want to talk about or ask and you'd rather do it one-on-one, feel free to stop by, okay? Otherwise, again, thank you very much, and I'm really looking forward to working with you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Welcome.
Thank you.
That concludes our.
All right, now everybody goes back to work.